What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. Today we continue our three-part series on how to break up with your alliance. In part one, which you can find the link in the description if you haven't viewed it, we talked about how do you know it's time to leave your current alliance, what are the red flags to look out for. And now today in part two, we're actually going to cover off on a very important topic: how do you find the right alliance? So you want to leave your current alliance, how do you actually go and find a one that's going to be better? So let's get this party started. Let's kick things off. How to break up with your alliance, part 2, finding a better alliance. Alright, so a couple rules. Before you go hunting, it's important to ask yourself a couple key questions. First off, how active do you want to be as a player? Do you want to play daily? Do you want to play weekly, monthly? This has a huge impact on what kind of alliance you should look for. Unless you want to play every single day, look for a casual alliance. So if you want to play a little bit less, don't go for the hardcore alliance. So the alliances that advertise as like 8 million or 4 million or 3 million, those are probably going to require you to play every day. So just forewarning. How are you willing to download line? A lot of the top tier alliances, they're going to require you to download Line. You'll see it in their description when they advertise their alliance. They'll say Line required. That's an app. It's a chat app you can get for iOS and Android. It's actually a pretty useful tool. So even if you don't want to do Line, I highly recommend you do Line because there's a lot of different bots you can join, which will tell you who the dual target is, or they'll tell you monthly cutoff predictions, or they'll have when different events are going on, what's the easy path for completion, things like that. So it's actually really useful, but some people don't want to have Line, and that's okay. Another question you want to ask yourself is, are you willing to spend units in or burn items in order to hit an alliance's minimum? So different alliances have alliance events that occur. Kabam puts these on to encourage your alliances to participate. And so what's important is that you need to decide, are you willing to do what it takes? So let's say your alliance is off by a couple hundred in completion. Are you going to burn that energy refill so that you can do another round of completion? Something to ask yourself. That's going to determine how hardcore of alliance you should join. Another thing you want to know is, are you willing to hold off on leveling up a champion or opening a crystal until Summoner Advancement resets each week? So Summoner Advancement, every single Thursday it resets. What that allows you to do is it basically it adds up all of the advancement that your alliance has done. These are rank ups, these are level ups, these are opening crystals, and that gets tabulated into a point score. Alliances, depending on the alliance, they don't want to hit a certain threshold because it's hard to maintain that every single week. So what you'll see is some alliances will do is they'll say, we do Summoner Advancement every other week, which means you would have to go an entire week without ranking up, leveling up, or opening up crystals. If you're cool with that, something to be aware of as you look for the alliance. If you're not cool with it, then find a different alliance that doesn't require that. And then finally, are you okay donating gold, loyalty, and battle chips each week? So pretty much, unless you want to do an alliance that's not going to run Alliance Quest or Alliance War, they're going to have some sort of donation requirement. So make sure you find out what that requirement is and that you're comfortable with it. Alright, so those are the basics. Now let's get into it. How do you actually... One more important thing. This is key. Have the following information handy. You want to know the star level, the rank, the XP level of your top 10 champions. So do you have a 4-star Dr. Voodoo, rank 440? What's your base hero rating, and what's your prestige? If you have no idea what this is, I'll show you how to do it. So you just... Whoops, that's not what I want. You simply just put up the game here in the picture-in-picture. You click on your name, and this is your summoner profile. So there you can see my name, Mr. Sill. I can see my base hero rating right at the top there on the right. So 268, 421. That's my base hero rating. I can see my top 4 champions here. So I got a Blade, 5-star, rank 3, 45. I got a Wolverine, rank 4, Awakened, 550. I have a Doc Voodoo, Awakened, rank 440. And a Quake, Awakened, rank 440. So those are my champions. In my top 4 champions, I can go back into my champions to find out who the rest are. You probably really only need the top 4, but some people may want to know more, or they want to know that you have at least 10 champions that are 440. So you can do Alliance Quest and Alliance War at the same time. It varies. And some alliances will ask you for your prestige. You can calculate this. Just do a Google search on how to calculate prestige, and you'll find the guide there. But essentially, you take your top 5 champions and you divide it by, you average out their PI, and that's your prestige. But I would just look at the Google just Google prestige calculation MCOC, and that will certainly give you a much better way to figure it out than my terrible description I just gave you. All right, so you have all this information. Now it's time to go hunting. So, places to find an alliance. First and foremost, the in-game's public chat. This is pretty self-explanatory. You just hop over here to chat. Make sure you're in the global chat. And there are always people asking for alliance. You just gotta sort through some of the crap. But pretty often you will find people going for an alliance. So here, this guy says easygoing alliance and recruiting new members. All right. So let's say you want a casual alliance. You don't want to have to worry about the minimum on these different events. You don't want to have to worry about not opening up your crystals. You're like, all right, let me check out Buzzsaw. Let's see his alliance. So I'm going to go ahead and view his profile. And I highly recommend you do this. You want to check out the alliance out before you actually commit to joining it. So here I can go on the left side there, go to alliance, and I can view his alliance. So don't want to leave your alliance, but you view his. So here I can see, he's definitely the leader, and he's, pretty high rating. Ratings range from the various people who are in it. The level is as well. And a good indicator to look at is who the profile champion is. So the image of these champions that you're seeing here, so you got Hyperion, Nightcrawler, these are all the highest rated champions that person has. You can see in the top there, I have my 5-star Blade, rank 3, he's my profile champ. Buzzsaw, he's got a 4-star Doc Voodoo, there's a 5-star Red Hulk there, 4-star Quake, 4-star Agent Venom, 5-star Venom Pool, and then these are 3 stars. So it just kind of tells you a good indication of who's actually in the alliance. So if their best champ is only a 3-star, that just tells you that it's probably an earlier alliance. There you can see we got our we succeeded in getting Yondu, so that's great. It's another check mark there, but we'll cover that in a different video. So let's just see if there's another alliance here that's a little bit more hardcore. Let's see if I can do something real quick. Let's see. And again, it's just a matter of just waiting. Here we go. Recruiting active players. Add me for details. All right. So this guy wants a more active alliance. So you can see here his alliance rating 6.9 million. That's a pretty good alliance. So that's very high. So let's go here to the alliance. Hit members. So we can see here we got 5 stars now as profile champions. A good mix of 5 and 4 stars. You see the ratings. These are really high ratings. So this alliance is pretty good. They do have some people here who are just starting in the alliance, so that's good. It's great for them. So yeah, this is just basically how you do some digging here. So that's step 1. That's probably the primary way that you'll go about finding an alliance. Another thing you can do is you can go on the MCOC forums. So I put a link in the description. You just go to the forums over on playcontestofchampions.com, and you'll see there people will request, just like the in-game chat, they'll put a request out in the forums for wanting people to join their alliance. There are also websites you can do. I found one website in particular. I put a link in the description. I don't know how legit it is or how good it is. Essentially, they want you to take a photo of your summoner profile, post it to the website, and then they will matchmake you somehow with an alliance. I don't know. Maybe a little suspect about it, but it could be awesome. So unknown. Check it out at your own risk. Line app is another way to find an alliance. This one's a little bit more tricky because you have to join, you have to be invited to the group. But if you know someone who is in the group, they can certainly forward it on to you and put your name out there, and they will basically find an alliance for you. If you don't have anyone, you don't know anybody, just hit me up in the comments, and I'll work with you and try to help you out. So, before you join an alliance, let's say you find that alliance, you love that alliance, the Brotherhood. I'll just pull it up here again in my chat. Let's say you love the Brotherhood, right? You're like, dude, I totally want this alliance. They have 4 more spots. Something you want to do is talk to the officer or the guy recruiting before you join the alliance. You want to find out what the weekly donations are. Are those donations something that you're comfortable with? One thing I'll let you know is the donations may seem high, but if they're constantly running map 5 in Alliance Quest or higher, you will get those materials back and then some. So don't have sticker shock, but if they're only doing Alliance Quest once in a while and not regularly, then that's something to have a word of caution and a red flag that would go off. Another thing you want to look at here is make sure that the Alliance event minimums are. So is especially in like a dual event that comes up, is the minimum 650, which would mean you need to do 5 duels for both days of the event. Or is it something like 1300, which would mean you have to do not only the 5 free duels, but you're now going to spend 5 of your dual chips if you have them, and if you don't, that's 25 units for both days. It's 50 units it's going to cost you in that Alliance event minimum. So just something to ask about. Another thing you want to know is what map do they run in AQ and how frequently. So they do a map 5, map 4, map 1, map 2, map 6. They do it 5 times during the week. They do it 1 time. All these things are valuable information. And, you know, again, make sure you check, because you have to leave your alliance before you can join the next one. Make sure that alliance rating is better than your last one. And if it's not, make sure it's within a certain margin of error. You don't want to be an alliance rating of, 8 million and try to, if you're leaving for progression reasons and you want to join another alliance, don't join an alliance that has a 1 million rating. You're never going to be able to complete any of the high-level content. So you're just going to be in trouble. But if you want to leave your alliance because it's too hardcore and you want to go to a more casual one, well, then absolutely, that'll be the case where you're going to take a step back and lower in your alliance rating. And then the last thing here is make sure you fit in the bottom third of the alliance. Unless it's a top-tier alliance, in which case, there's nowhere else to go. You're at the top. But if you're not at the top, you want to try to, when you're joining a new alliance, make sure there's room for you to grow. So we'll go back here and look at this. We'll actually pull up my alliance. I just joined this alliance a couple days ago. You see their rating is 8.7 million. I'm going to go to my own alliance here, and we'll see where I fit. So, whoops, sorry. Go to members. I can see here that remember my rating was 268,000. So let's see how many people are better than I am in this alliance. So we got one guy. This guy, he's a boss, man. And he's got Stark Spidey. Totally jealous. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, I counted myself. So if there's 14 people, better than me in the alliance. So I'm right at the middle. Not exactly a third, but that's okay. There's still a lot of room for me to grow in this alliance, and they're running Map 5 Alliance Quest, which is what I really need. They do it 5 days a week, or 5 times a week rather, and they're doing Alliance War. So I think it's okay for me. It gives me a lot of room to grow, but I will probably reach a point, maybe, where I will outgrow even this alliance, because I'm going to get all these tier 4 class catalysts now that my hero rating is going to go way up, because now I can bring my champions to rank 550. So there you have it. That's a quick look at how do you find the right alliance. Hopefully you found the video useful. If you did, go ahead and hit a like. If it's your first time reaching the channel and you like the content, please give me a subscribe. I'd appreciate that. If you want to see other things or something wasn't clear, give me a comment, give me some feedback. What did you like? What didn't you like? And we will continue on with part 3 probably in the next day or so. I have to go on a business trip, but I'll be back on Tuesday. So if I can't get it done now, I'll probably put it up there on Tuesday for you guys to check out. And that's part 3. How do you actually pull the trigger and leave your alliance? So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you appreciate everything. Hopefully you learned something. And I will catch you guys in the multiverse. Take care and stay safe.